Coming up this hour.
And one of the best ways of showing manners is learning to say hello in someone's language. It's amazing how that bridge of communication and tears down walls of differences. And I saw that pattern, that people were delighted to see that you cared, even if you learned one word, and even if that one word was hello or how are you. You know, and they don't expect you to be fluent in their language, but just the fact that you've entered their world, the language of their heart.
Well, I must say that I am intrigued by today's program coming up. We're doing something we haven't done much of, and that is we are going to talk, Bob, about manners.
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 I think this goes well with our theme this year of having a vision for your home.
Yes.
Who likes a home with chaos?
Right,
you know?
and disrespect.
Disrespect and those types of things. You know, we love it when there's manners.
Oh,
manners,
yes.
more than just at the table, but just a lifestyle where you prefer one another. We travel a lot, and so when we come home, we tend to get a report.
Yes, from whoever's looking after the
whoever.
kids.
But my grandparents, or their grandparents, my father and his wife, to come home and for them to give a glowing report of the behavior of our sons. That's a miracle.
Yes.
But they were such gentlemen, you know.
And they used their manners because that's very important to them.
Yeah, and they took care of their sister and those kinds of things.
Yeah.
I love that. I really do.
It's always a good report. But you know what? We can always be reminded of how we can learn more and do this more. So, and I know that it's God glorifying as well because there's honor involved, and God is a God of honor, and we want to honor Him in all we do. So stay with us for this entire program. I hope you enjoy it.
We've got a unique opportunity to have someone with us today that's going to teach us in a unique way. The Manners Lady is with us, Judi the Manners Lady. I'm just delighted to have you with us, Judi. You live in you're a Canadian.
I'm Canadian.
People wouldn't know that necessarily when they see your material.
Well, I lived in the States for 15 years. Married to an American boy, 3 American kids, but they're dual.
They're dual,
dual.
But you got them living in Canada now.
Yes, yes.
You and your husband live in?
We're in Vancouver, Langley, BC. My husband's a professor at Trinity Western University, and that's my school, so it's very cool.
So you graduated from there, but then you took graduate studies, didn't you, Judi? You went on to the
Regent
States.
University in Virginia for a master's degree in law and government. And my vision was to get a biblical worldview so I could come back to Canada and, you know, run for office and change the world. And so I really felt that was God's call, that He would use politics as a way of changing the world and influencing the culture. But now, Willard, I realize that if I have the opportunity to influence the next generation in principles of self-government, self-control, wise choices, living by the golden rule, these foundational principles that our nation was founded upon, hard work, integrity, going the extra mile. You know, I think it seems to be a generation graduating from grade 12 you know, people owe them a living and entitlement. Yeah.
You've got, there's a whole bunch of things I want to come back and when you say that, because I want to talk about self-government, what you mean, because and then when you said you want to teach people about self-government, we thought that was our right to live in Canada and live with self-government. Okay, but you got a whole different slant on it.
Well, self-government means self-control, and I even tell my children and children that I work with and teenagers that if you are self-governing in making wise choices, then you have freedom. Otherwise, if you don't have self-control and you can't control yourself from stealing, you can't control yourself from driving over the speed limit, then guess what? Someone's going to have to help you control yourself, like the police officer. And you don't have freedom. You'll be put in jail for stealing. You'll be put in, get tickets for speeding if you can't have self-control to obey the laws.
No, that's really interesting. Okay, now Judi, where did this all start for you? I mean, you know, like what made you to be the kind of, how did God bring you to be the kind of person you are? Give me some of your story.
The person I am, or the Manners Lady?
No, the person you are first, and then the Manners Lady comes out of that, because that's who you, it's who you are at the core.
Yes.
That the Manners Lady is somebody people see. That's the presentation.
It's the funniest thing. I was with some old friends this weekend that didn't know what I'd become.
What you're doing, what you become.
Said, Judi, I can't think of a more perfect job for you, because we know you from back then. And,
okay, so you were that way. Okay, it comes out of who you are. That's what I'm curious about.
God is so creative and amazing. I mean, just that He used my years in Hollywood to learn about entertainment, and He learned about, you know, my years in politics to give the substance to what I teach, and the learn about the biblical worldview of law, government, history. And I don't know if you heard much about the Truth Project that Focus on the Family is launching, but that's huge with what I do, because worldview is what I'm teaching. Worldview is that there is a right and a wrong, and that God has written His laws on our heart, and the world is telling our kids, do your own thing, look out for number one, if it feels good, do it. And that's such a lie. You know, kids love to be told there's a right and a wrong. And, you know, the stove's hot, don't touch it.
Right.
You know?
Okay, now were you this way from when you were 5 years old? I mean, was it 6, 7? When did you start being this way, Judi? Did you grow up in Canada?
Yes, in Toronto, and Daddy was a grocer. I think I would have to say that probably from my mom and dad. Learned customer service, learned employee relations from Dad. Dad would welcome, people would come to our little grocery store.
So they loved the grocery store?
Because Dad was Mr. IGA. Dad knew people by their name, and if he didn't know their name, he called them Sweetie, but said, Dad, you can't call everyone Sweetie anymore. But because I think they knew he cared. He learned Portuguese because our community was filled with Portuguese people, and my parents sent us to the Portuguese school to learn Portuguese along with the Portuguese kids.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That is cool. That is cool.
Well, it was there, and our church was half Portuguese from the Azores, so it was wonderful. This is Streetsville, Ontario. Streetsville Baptist Church, if anyone's listening.
Wow.
And